Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy Hillman here. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Hillman, I'm a fifth year medical student, almost done with med school in the Netherlands, Maastricht University. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a look around. If there's any videos you like, be sure to subscribe so you're still updated with the next videos I'm posting. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about, can you work as a medical student? I've received a couple of questions over the past years, and it's coming towards application season again, so a lot of people are reaching out to me, trying to figure out what the best choice is for them to make with regards to med school. Should I apply to Maastricht and Groningen? I have my personal opinions. Let me know in the comment section if you want to know which of them I actually recommend more. In this video, I'm going to be talking about, can you work next to med school? A lot of people seem to have problems with that. I have gone through that and I have tried it all. So in this video, I'm going to be talking more about that and hopefully give you guys some insights to help you decide and make a choice on what you actually want to do. First thing, I think let's break it down into the bachelor's and the master's and then look at the different circumstances or factors that play into whether or not you can actually have a part-time job next to your studies. So for me personally, I lived outside of Maastricht, the city, because I couldn't find an accommodation in the city when I moved here a couple of years ago. So that made it also extra difficult to find a job, because then you have to bike and then it's night and you can't work till late because the way back home is dark and you can already ride up that hill. So for me, that made it tricky in year one. However, I think if you live in the city, that already changes things a lot, because if you have to work till late in the night, which a lot of jobs want you to be able to do, then you're flexible because you can just walk home or bike home, but I couldn't, so that really restrained me in a way. So I think there's different factors to take into account, but globally my answer to that question automatically will be, in the bachelor's, yes, you can work on the side. Year one takes a while to get into the flow. The system now, the curriculum has changed, so that might be different, but it takes a while to get into the flow of med school and tutorials and problem-based learning. Problem-based learning, for those of you who don't know, by the way, is a different system of education where you don't have just lectures, conservative, the normal way of lectures, exams and stuff. No, it's a more tutorial driven system. So the bulk of your work, which is tested in the exams, comes from your tutorials. That means if you miss tutorials, you miss a bunch of, a chunk of the work you need for your exams. There are lectures, however, but you don't get all the knowledge you need from the lectures. So if you attend all the lectures and miss the tutorials, you might still fail the exam if you don't prepare extra hard for the exam. So tutorials are a big thing. That means you have to attend tutorials, you have to spend time after the tutorials, preparing for the next tutorials, you have to do research and all that kind of stuff. There is a lot of active learning that goes into that process, which is why I personally love the system, because it triggers you to think. It actually gets you to use your knowledge in practical situations and not just get knowledge and not know how you're supposed to use that knowledge. So that means you take a lot of time after, not too much though, but you take time after tutorials in the evening preparing for the next tutorials. So that's a system which takes getting used to. But I think depending on how sharp you are, depending on how fast you pick up, you could already by the end of the first semester, so by the end of the first 6 months, be in a place where you're flexible enough to get an extra job. So my advice would be, I think, one, yes, you can get a part-time job while studying medicine, the bachelor's. But two, give yourself a while, 6 months in the beginning, depending on how financially constrained you are. Give yourself some time, 6 months, first semester, to see how it feels for you. If it feels too easy, second semester, go get a job. But it might overstrain you if you get a job in the beginning already without knowing how the program actually feels, if that makes sense. I think it's well in place to get a part-time job. A lot of people do it. And for Dutch students, it might be easier because you're already used to the system of learning and doing research and all that stuff. But for you who comes from an international background, it might take a while getting used to. I did not get a job until I moved to Maastricht and got comfortable here. So that was around April the next year. So more than 6 months, more than a semester. And that worked great for me because I got the hang of it. My case was so special because I was studying in Dutch, so I needed extra time to study and translate stuff back and forth. But that's a different story. So I think all in all, it is possible to get a job, a part-time job in the bachelor's. There are a lot of jobs available for students as well at the university and outside. But I would advise taking the first 6 months, get in the flow, and then eventually you can get a part-time job from after the 6 months from the second semester of the first year. Year two generally was easier for me, and for most people I hear it's also easier. Year three picks up the pace again, but then some people also say year three is easier. So the bachelor's is actually the space where you can explore, get a part-time job if you want, do extracurriculars if you want, explore other interests if you want, because there's a lot of space to grow and explore things. And the university encourages that. I love Maastricht University, man. I love the university. The amount of growth I've gone through by just being a student here and being able to tap into all the opportunities that are there at the university. Because the thing with university is no one is going to tell you, take this and learn, take this and do. You have to be more proactive with your learning process. Something that if you need something for your personal growth, for your professional growth, They're available. You just have to go out in search of it, ask for it, and it'll be given to you. So I love Maastricht University, and with regards to that, you can do a lot of stuff around, like on the side of your program, and that is no different from medicine. I think you can do a lot on the side. Now, let's go to the master's. That's a whole different story, because I have a part-time job. I still have a part-time job now. I'm in year 6, so I'm almost done. I still have a part-time job, but I had a part-time job in the bachelor's at the university where I was working during the week. And with the bachelor's, it's more flexible to plan. If you don't have any classes on one day, you can fit in a shift there during the day, because a lot of them want you to be available during the day. You can fit in a shift there and work during the day. But with the master's, that's not possible. With the master's, that's not possible, because you're on rotations like the whole time during the day, 5 days a week, 40 hours or more, or 50 or 60, whatever it is. So you cannot work a part-time job that requires you to be there during the day. But my part-time job, which I switched after the bachelor's, required me to be sometimes available in the weekends. They also have during the week shifts, but I couldn't do that, so I took only the weekend ones. So there's also jobs where you can work at the house art supposed to the GP practice, or you can do other jobs which involve triage, getting patients to the emergency room, or filtering out the patients. All these things, those are jobs which are available at the master's, and they also help with professional development. But that depends on how much of your free time you're willing to give up, because those things also require time and how much you want to work. Some people work 4 hours in the weekend just to get money for their groceries. That's doable. So I think even with the master's, you can get a part-time job as well. But it just depends what kind of job it is, how much time you're willing to sacrifice from your free time in the weekends, and if you really want to use that job to also grow. Because I think some people do these jobs not just for the money part of it or for doing a job, but they also grow from all this triaging and filtering out patients and hearing all the symptoms. That helps with professional growth as well. So I think all in all throughout the master program, summarily, you can work. Sometimes a little more than others, maybe, but all throughout the program, in my experience, you can work. It just depends on who you are and what you actually want to make out of how you want to use your time and practice and prioritize. So long story short, is it possible to work during the medical degree program? Yes, it is. During the bachelor's, during the master's, you can work if you want to, but you just have to plan that, prioritize accordingly, and you can make it work. Hope this video was helpful to you, and hope this helps you make a choice. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comment section and I can see if I can make a video about that. But until next time, guys, stay blessed and peace.